Welcome to the Well Within radio podcast. I am your host, Shalina Litt. Talking of journeys of holistic well-being, my beautiful sis, Reena, what you saying?
Oh, so lovely to be here, Shalina. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so grateful that you came on.
Thank you.
Because I know it wasn't just like, yeah, I'm coming on. You had to think about it. I get it. And that's why I'm just so grateful. But as I said, it's just like we're drinking chai, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a cup of tea. Having a cuppa. So, how was that for you? Lots of herbs. You're already quite familiar with the topic of herbs.
Yeah, he named a few, although that I'm not very familiar with, but it's always nice to hear about new herbs to educate myself on. So that was amazing.
So, talking of herbs, and you're quite familiar with one of them, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
May I add, you gave me a few drops, and I put it onto my face, and wow, it was actually so soft for quite a while. I was like, yeah, I need to take this to another level now. Have a whole facial. And what made you get into Blue Lotus?
So Blue Lotus is a very, very special flower in my life. For anyone that knows me, you'll know that I have quite a few lotus flower tattoos all over my body, but I actually had these done prior to even knowing what a significant connection I had to this flower. It wasn't up until like my early 30s that it really dawned on me that I was meant to work with this plant. It's a very sacred, auspicious flower. In my culture, I'm of South Asian descent. I'm Hindu Gujarati, so you know the lotus flower is depicted in a lot of paintings and imagery with the goddesses. And so once I started diving deeper into the meaning of the flower and its properties, its healing properties, it was like I was just having all these aha moments, like, oh my god, I'm supposed to work with this sacred plant, this sacred plant medicine, which is exactly what it is. And when I started working with it, wow, it just blew my mind. How it amplified my abilities, my intuition, and it just expanded my mind just how beautiful this flower is in every shape and form. Yeah.
It sounds very transformative.
Yeah, it really has been.
Definitely very intrigued to the journey. So talking of journeys, I mean, I'm hooked on your Instagram, by the way. I'm a stalker. I'm officially a stalker. You might have to restrict.
It's a lot. I post all kinds of stuff on there.
But you're so authentic. I love you for that, sis. I love you for that, because
Thank you so much.
we don't have enough authenticity out there right now, you know. And it's tough because a lot of people are smiling, but when they like go home, it's another story.
Yeah,
you know?
Social media is very difficult at the moment, I'm finding, and I'm sure a lot of people will resonate. Like, there's so much going on in our external world, and it's really difficult, like, to put on this fake mask for social media. Like, we need to show up and be more vulnerable and raw and authentic, because that is where real growth and healing lies, I do believe. So for me, it's very important for me to show up in those ways because it inspires others.
Absolutely, yeah. And I noticed that while I was doing my studies, there's a common theory. It's called self-discrepancy theory, where people are operating between ought self, ideal self, and actual self. And I was like, oh my God, like, I could totally relate to that, because I think as a South Asian woman, we have lots of, you know, different values that are cast upon us. And there's already this identity, right, that you're meant to, like, you know, tick a box. And so being your actual self is so relieving when you can finally say, I refuse to be what you want me to be. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then you remove yourself from me. Like,
yeah, exactly.
bye.
You know, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You're not going to be for everybody. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with the fact that that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have also been very vocal about, and it was something I didn't know, but again, I really respected it, about your journey with, you know, you want to share the journey that you've been sharing so far.
Which part of it? There's so many
Exactly.
aspects of it, but like in terms of my trauma and stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
like I have, especially in the last few years, I have been more vocal about like the sexual trauma that I've experienced, and also the grief of losing my mum, and even prior to losing her, like that whole process of her transitional period. I did share quite a lot about it on my social media because I thought and I felt that, I've never seen anyone else share this side of their lives, and I felt like it was important for people to see that.
Yeah.
It wasn't coming from a place of like being in victim mentality. It was just, again, like to show, this is this is part of being human.
Yeah.
Right? It's not all just fluff and love and light.
Yeah, because
So
and it's easy to see that because you emanate such a strength, sis. I'm not going to lie, like you just honestly, and so how has that response been then? Because obviously I know how I'm affected by it, and I'm just very grateful, like I said. But how has the response been for you? Like,
in
I'm
all
sure.
honesty, whenever I do touch on these subjects from like my own personal experience, I do get very positive feedback. I get the DMs of people from both men and women, just saying how proud they are of me. And then I get the messages of the women that have gone through similar experiences, and it is heartbreaking to hear that so many women have gone through this. And there are cases of men going through it too, but they're just less likely to speak out on it. So it's nice to know that I create a safe space for people to enter my inbox,
Yeah.
and be vulnerable and be honest, and they know that it's never going to go any further, and that they're safe to open up to me. So that's nice. Yeah.
So in terms of the trauma, what were your coping mechanisms? Because I know they've transformed along the way, right?
Yeah, they have definitely evolved. So, I mean, prior to really starting my healing journey, so before like my first major awakening, I very much used to deal with it with just drinking it, smoking it, taking recreational drugs. And yeah, just I had zero or very minimal self-awareness of what I was doing to myself and others around me by doing that, by engaging in that behaviour. And then in my 20s, I had a massive awakening. I was working at for the NHS at the time, at a hospital within the NHS, and yeah, like so many veils were lifted, like I was diving into so many rabbit holes and self-educating myself. Like, I'm a truth seeker, so like I was diving into everything. I wanted to know everything, and yeah, just one rabbit hole led to another. I started learning about diet and lifestyle. I started learning about the gut-brain axis, the connection between your gut and your brain, And, I started implementing some really big changes in my life. And, every change that happened, that I integrated and embodied into my lifestyle, it was all through my intuition. My intuition guided me there, and I'm so grateful. But it has been a long process, and I'm still very much work in process, right? I think I'm going to be healing like for so many years to come. It's a journey. It really is. The healing journey doesn't stop.
Yeah, we are unpacking layers of emotions that we've suppressed and swept aside because I think we didn't know how to process them at the time,
Right.
And so your journey with self then, so that's what I'm presuming, the connection was made, whereas I guess when we're drinking, we're smoking, it's almost like a deterrent from the voice of self, the pain that the voice...
it's self-sabotage. Because I'm running, I'm hiding, I'm numbing things out using substances, whereas now my strategy is to sit with it and feel it, feel every uncomfortability of it, because that's where the real healing and the real growth happens, right? And it's hard.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I sat here and said it wasn't. This
I
path
know.
is not for the faint-hearted, but you know, I wouldn't have it any other way, because
Yeah.
there are glimmers of beauty in it as well. You learn so much about yourself.
Absolutely. I do remind people, I'm like, who said healing was pretty? You know, like, you always see these candles burning and someone just like, you know, like, incense stick burning, like, wow, no, you know, it's ugly, it's screaming, it's
Yeah, a lot of Kim Kardashian style crying. You know, them ugly cries.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. I'm telling you, but for real, but it's just so amazing how light you feel afterwards, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel so like unstoppable. I'm proud, you know. And what was that transition like for you in terms of, because that must have been a big change for the people that was around you, you know, like how did they respond? Was that easy? Did they welcome it, like make it easy for you, or did you have to lose them?
To a certain extent, I kind of lost them, because you either get it or you don't. If you understand what I'm saying. With my mum and dad, when my mum was still with us, I mean, she was supportive, but I don't feel like she truly understood what I was doing. But she was proud of things like my sobriety. I went sober in 2020, shortly after my friend unalived himself, sadly. So I'm glad she got to see parts of that of my journey. It's gonna actually be my 5th year of sobriety in November. Yeah, 12th November.
Oh my God, I'm giving you a round of applause right now. Woy-oy. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Sis. 5 years.
Yeah.
Has it just become like, it's just become second nature?
Yeah, second nature to me. I couldn't believe, like, I don't know, I just couldn't imagine going out now and drinking. And that's no judgment to anyone that still drinks. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's on their own journey, on their own path. But for me, like, it's just so liberating now to go to music events and work in the environments that I'm working around, and just be there for the music and be fully present with the music and around the people that I'm with.
Yeah.
And just be in it.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually as you were talking, it's the physical presence that I think people don't realize is just so empowering. Like, and I say, like, a lot of people are just operating in high alert. They're either worried about the future and they're anxious, or they're depressed about the past, you know. And until we start to unpack what it is that's causing us so much pain, we're going to be in pain for a long time. It's like having a thorn stuck in you. Like, it's really difficult.
Well, this is why they say that we are our own worst enemies at times, right? The mind is such a powerful thing, and it can often take over. So, like, you have to learn how to be in control of your mind and not let your mind be in control of you, right? But it's self-mastery. It takes time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why, even when I do the breath work, I say to people, like, take a moment to observe. Are you still in your mind space or are you in your heart space? You know, because I find a lot of people, they operate from their mind space, which means that you're not really getting to the nooks and crannies of why you're in so much pain, you know, but there lies it. So what's it like moving forward for you now? Because grief is a big one. It is a really big one. And, you know, I already had a message from our Jordan, from Circle, bless him. Beautiful message. You know, and he's so excited that you're on. I'm waiting for him to get on as well, actually. Big up Brum Circle. But, you know, and the noting of maybe who you were before Mum was here and then Mum's not here now. Like, how has that journey been with grief?
Oh, gosh. That is such a big question, and it's hard to give like a small answer to that, to be quite honest, because I'll never be the same person that I was when Mum was here. A part of me has died with her, but then again, saying that, part of her still lives on in me too. And it's like I live my life for mom, in honor of my mom, right? She's the matriarch. She is, yeah, she's the mother, man. She's the divine mother.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm feeling a bit emotional.
No, and it's only
I promise
rightly
myself I won't
so.
cry.
But it's your authentic self, sis, and that's why I love you, and that's why so many people love you. You know, you choose to share publicly, and I'm grateful that you do that, because of course, you know, I've heard so many people, and grief is a really big one, especially when we lose our mothers.
Yeah, you only have one mother, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm very glad that she instilled the core values and beliefs in me that she did, you know, to always operate with love and empathy and care and compassion, and I'm just so grateful for those things. Yeah, thank you, Mom. I love you.
Aw, I love that. And you know, one thing that stood out for me when I was listening to some of the work that you do is, in light of your healing journey, you know, you're still out there helping those that are in need, you know, going up to people that are maybe on the streets, you know. How is that for you in terms of, is the support out there when you actually sit down and speak to them?
Are you talking in terms of the welfare work that I do? Yeah, so basically it's just me that works in this venue. I work in the venue in Digbeth, Mama Roo's, and it's just myself that covers both venues, both Club Colette and Mama Roo's. And you know, it's a job I've been doing for about 5-6 years. I worked another venue before that. And it's something I enjoy, but it also is a reminder of why I'm on this path as well. Because it was actually doing this role that actually was the pivotal point that kind of initiated the sobriety, as well as losing my friend Josh. But yeah, it's a reminder every weekend of why I'm on this path, and that I do want to be of service to people and help people heal.
Absolutely. It's about helping people make that connection. You know, because what I often see is people that have been through hardship, they're the most beautiful people for other people. But they struggle to show the same love to themselves, you know. And so it's beautiful when we're just naturally these healers that can just come up and remind people, no, man, stop. Like, you know, give to yourself. You know.
You have to remind people who they are sometimes, because it's hard to see when you're in this human meat vessel, right? Sometimes you need someone that's looking from the outside to remind you. So yeah, I think people definitely need that at times.
And important to surround yourself with people that will tell you how amazing you are, and don't fear your success. I think that's one thing, and that's why I asked how people responded to your sobriety. Because sometimes I think when you're around people that aren't winning and you're winning, you're like, oh my God, this has just happened, that has just happened. And they're like, they're not responding the way that you expect them to.
And just to touch on a little bit more on that, because I spoke about like my parents' kind of reactions, or should I say lack thereof, but like in terms of friends, you know, I did lose a lot of friends because of my sobriety, because, you know, sobriety is gonna act like a mirror, right? It's gonna show people parts of themselves that maybe they don't want to see too. So like obviously now I look at it from a lens of compassion for them, rather than like resentment for them not really showing up for me in the ways that I felt they should. But yeah, I don't look at it in that way anymore.
Yeah, and that's big, that is, because I think, and that leads me on to, I was saying, I need to bring the forgiveness godmother. Like, honestly, part of my healing journey, big up Audrey Josephs, you know, I turned to her and had to have this conversation about healing, you know, and forgiveness and compassion. And it was so, again, alleviating. And I felt so empowered, and I didn't realize it. I thought I was giving my power away if I was forgiving someone, you know. And it was just so beautiful. doing that, because I think it's got to the point now where, you know, when I connect with people, sometimes you have to understand that actually we can only do so much. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then obviously what they want to do moving forward is, you know, you can give them these nuggets of information and just pray that they grab them and run with them, you know. So I've also seen on your Instagram, do go check it out. It's just, sometimes it's hilarious, by the way. It's just, yeah, you don't know what's coming. So well-being, let's talk about your well-being.
My well-being,
you know,
okay,
your routine.
let's dive into this.
Because listen, let me tell you something. Yeah, you look like you're in your 20s right now. Trust me.
Beige don't age, innit?
Listen, I'm big up your sis, like seriously. So what are you doing? Because you're doing something right, girl.
Okay, let me reel off my list. So I mean, what do you want to know? Like my daily rituals?
Yes, please. Like when you wake up in the morning, what's the routine? How do you manage?
So like my lifestyle is predominantly like whole foods, plant-based diet. I eat a lot of fruit, a lot of veg, a lot of smoothies, a lot of green
Have
juices.
you always been like that, sis?
No, I haven't. No.
I was going to say, don't lie.
No, I haven't always been like this. I've been plant-based. It's going to be 10 years this year. But I mean, saying that, I actually went vegan first.
Okay.
But when I say I went vegan, it was like I was still eating a lot of like processed vegan food, so it wasn't entirely healthy. And then it wasn't until I'd say about 6-7 years ago, that's when I kind of steered more to like the Dr. Sebi alkaline kind of way. When I started traveling to Mexico, it was really easy to like live an alkaline diet in Mexico. You know, tropical fruits were in abundance.
How long was you
and it was
How long was
cheap.
you in Mexico?
So I went for about 3 years 3 years for every winter. And then obviously I had to come home when Mum was going through her transition. I haven't gone back this year, but I'm looking to go back at the beginning of next year. But yeah, Mexico is like home to me. I love the lifestyle there. I love the people. I love the food.
Yes.
They have so many organic Mexican restaurants there. It's just, yeah, it's the dream.
So I guess it made, because obviously from my perspective, I'm not there yet, vegan or vegetarian. I've got the desire to want to tap into it, but the ease, I guess, I've got a few apprehensions.
Okay.
However, being around higher self family, you know, watching certain people eat lettuce like a bag of crisps, like, you know, it is inspiring me. And especially when I see how youthful, you know what I mean, people like yourself are looking like, you know. Let's talk a little bit about higher self. I see you just swagged out. Big up higher self clothing. So how did you get into that even?
So, oh gosh, I actually met Aaron through a friend at work whilst I was doing the welfare work actually, and we just connected, and obviously we shared similar interests. Obviously we live similar lifestyles and stuff, and we just connected from there basically, and then we've just become friends. He's like a brother to me. I went on a few walks with him. And yeah, I love what he's doing. What he's doing is amazing. Like he's creating some really big waves, and yeah, I love it. I love everything about it. He's made me a brand ambassador for the brand. So I model his merch, and yeah, I love his tracksuits. They're the comfiest tracksuits I own, and I literally live in them.
Yeah, I get the modelling thing. Like I was standing next to you and I was like, I felt proper like, oh my days. Like, what do I do?
You look lush.
Thank you, darling. But yeah, thank you so much, sis. Thank you for the transparency, like everything.
Thank you.
So, anyone's listening and they want to be in touch, do let me know. Do let them listeners know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. My personal account is Renkers222. That's Renkers with a Z. And alternatively, you can follow me on Pineal Gland Powers, all lowercase. Also on Instagram. Yeah, it'd be lovely to connect with you all.
Absolutely.
Thank you
And
so much for having me,
no,
Shalina.
sis, thank you. Honestly, from A to Z, like you're just so transparent, and I love that about you. And you know, prayers, light, blessings, all of that on your journey. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you,
So,
sis. Thank you.
okay, gonna play some adverts, and then after the break, I have another beautiful guest with me, and it is Afsha from Bloom Holistic Life. Whoop whoop! And trust me, like this show. I hope you guys are taking notes here, and I hope you start DMing me on how you are transforming your life right now. Holistic well-being all the way. So see you after the break.